my beloved Earth Angel friends. Reverend Elvia here, founder of AngelsTeach.com, and welcome to this month's messages from the angels. It's August 2013, and it's hard to believe this summer is just flying by crazy. But then again, it kind of seems like that always happens. Before we get to our messages for this month, I'd like to share with you an announcement about our Angel Communication Basic Training that we are going to be offering this fall for the first time ever as a weekend intensive. It's going to be October 5th and 6th, and I will be teaching that with Marianne Chandler, our master teacher and dean of students and customer care angel as well. She wears many hats. And I will also be joined by others from our amazing teaching staff. So if you've been interested in learning angel communication and would like to experience that with us, which I hope you do, please check us out. You'll see the links below this email. So this month, I polled my Living with the Angels community and asked them to choose from a number of objects for our reading this month. And the lucky top 3 winners were, ready for this? Echinacea flowers, beautiful, beautiful, in season right now. The second thing is a smudging bowl, which this is a formal one. This is an abalone shell. And in it is some white sage that we use in our house to clear the air, to clear the energy. I also use and wanted to share this bowl that our son made when he was in middle school, and I love this. It's just powerful energy, of course, filled with love, and it has a more personal meaning. So whatever you feel drawn to use as part of your clearing in your home, if you do want to get into smudging or already are, make it personal if you feel drawn to. And when we smudge, I'm just dipping a bit of this white sage into candle here. We just burn a little bit of it, put it in the bowl, and just let it clear the air. So that's object number 2. Object number 3 is a hummingbird hawk moth, which has been hanging out around our butterfly bush as well as our phlox flowers and some of our other beautiful things in the garden. And you'll see a picture of one that I took last week, just feasting on some beautiful phlox that we have in our garden. So those are your 3 objects to choose from for your angel message this month. So get quiet with your angels and make sure that you're choosing with your heart and not your head. We've had lots of people reply to us and say, you know, logically I would have chosen blah, 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 but because my angels guided me to choose something else, I got a really profound, deep message that I don't think I would have gotten otherwise. So again, make sure that you're asking your angels to help you choose what it is that you're going to use. So again, your choices are the echinacea flowers, smudging bowl, or the beautiful hummingbird hawk moth. Okay, so we're going to start with the echinacea flowers. So if you chose these beautiful echinacea flowers, this reading, this message is for you. And I am using Tony Carmen Salerno's Spirit Oracle deck. And the card that comes forward for the echinacea flowers in partnership with them is Aura of Love. Beautiful. Well, you may or may not know that echinacea flowers are powerfully healing. Not only are they beautiful, do they last a long time, but they're used to support the immune system. And the roots in particular are decocted into an herbal solution that helps the body stay strong and to heal through whatever illnesses may be ailing it. So that's very pronounced part of this message. When I was picking these flowers just a little while ago, I was paying close attention to the flowers that were calling out and stepping forward and volunteering to be part of this reading. And it goes along with the aura of love. But you'll notice that some of these are pretty new. A lot of the flowers have actually started to get older. So these 2 were among the few that actually look fairly fresh, that look fairly new. This one over here is a little bit shorter, and I had to search around for it, but the petals are a little bit cut off. Still beautiful, of course, but it has some wounds. It has some scars. And it's actually part of those wounds and those scars that make it so beautiful. And this is a big part of the message for you. I'm also noticing that that smudge, that white sage that I started burning a few minutes ago, is actually just started to take off and is burning even more. So the message for those of you who chose the Echinacea flowers through the aura of love is actually twofold. The first thing is those scars, those wounds that you believe that you are carrying are your greatest gift. And I know this message has come through in the past, and yet this is coming through in a somewhat, I'm hearing subtler and yet more direct way for you. So, look very literally at those scars and those wounds, and I'm actually hearing physically as well. So, look at your body. What about your body is it? And I'm hearing screams of yes that you don't love. Are you feeling as though you're too short, too tall, too heavy, too thin, too gray, too old, too stiff, whatever it is? Start to look at what that is as a gift. And I know that that's a huge leap for a lot of us. And I'll admit, being at the life stage that I'm at, I certainly have some things that I work through every day with my body. And yet it's all good. And I can feel it with the angels are guiding me. So as you embrace where you're at with your body as a gift, what you're doing is you're actually creating the space, you're opening for the angels to help you accept yourself for who you are. And this is where the aura of love card really comes in, because as you accept yourself for who you are, with all of those aches and pains and gray hairs and extra pounds and all of that, you invite the angels to be so much a part, so much more of a part of your presence than you can even imagine. So you can walk around and be limping and just be like, yep, my angels, they're with me. And people feel it. They're drawn to it. They admire it. And it's just such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the second part of this message is, and I'm hearing it's all about healing. And so recognize that this is a journey, because the emphasis that I'm hearing from my angels is that this is a healing. It's not something that's likely to happen overnight. It's not likely something that's going to happen today. But as you open up, and I'm looking at a goldfinch eating some sunflower seeds off of our seeds, you will, off of our plant, you will, through opening up in this way, plant the seeds. You will harvest what you have within you and plant the seeds for growing into that full expression of you. And that's what it's all about, right? Okay, so up next, the angels are actually switching up the order, and I think it's because this smudging bowl is continuing to burn, so it's really carrying the energy, clearing the energy throughout the reading. I don't know if you can see the smoke in the video or not. It's kind of subtle there. Maybe you can see a little bit there with the dark painting behind. And the purpose of that is it's clearing the energy as we do this reading, clearing it for all of us, including you guys. All goes back to intention. Okay, so the hummingbird hawk moth, take a look at this picture that I took last week. You'll notice that the hummingbird hawk moth is actually it's a little bit hard to see, but it's on the top left of that beautiful pink phlox flower. You'll notice that it is just diving in, nestling into that flower and sucking up the nectar. So the card for those of you who chose the hawk moth is passion. Interesting. Oh my goodness. This is just such a bam kind of message. Sometimes, they dribble in. Sometimes it takes a little while for the message to unfold. And other times it's like bam. And this is one of those bam readings. This is about sucking up the nectar of life. So for those of you who chose the hummingbird hawk moth, this is about passion. This is about nestling in there. This is about getting into life and really rolling up your sleeves and getting involved, get engaged, get out there. Call your friends, do a dance, listen to some music, scream at the top of your lungs, read whatever it is that you want to read, and don't care about what other people think. Go skinny dipping. Do whatever it is that lights you up and makes you passionate. If you have chosen this card, I'm hearing that your life has become a little bit dampened. That spark is a little bit weaker than it has been for you in the past. And again, I'm hearing screams of yes on this. So this is your time. This is your opportunity. And I beseech you to sit with your angels and ask them, how can you respark? How can you reignite your passion? How can you jump in and seize joy? So I just took a moment to chat with my angels because it's interesting that it was the hummingbird hawk moth and not the hummingbirds. We have had some hummingbirds around, although more of the hawk moths. And hummingbirds are about joy. They also migrate enormous distances. So they're always moving from place to place. And as you know, their tiny, tiny wings are like, they're just flapping so fast. The wings also flap very fast and quickly on the hawk moth, and yet, to my knowledge, they are a moth and not a bird. And I'm not positive about this, but my sense is that that's true. Moths, as you do know, and I know, are drawn to the light. So this is about you being drawn to your light. Because the other half of the message for you, for those of you who chose the hummingbird hawk moth, is that you are listening to other people a little bit too much. And you're relying on on your joy coming through other people. And it's really essential that you understand and grasp the concept that the joy only comes through what makes your heart feel yummy. And as you do that, you will take care of other people that need to be taken care of and enjoy your friends and your family and all of that. So, this is really your time to step back into what is true for you and what makes you happy and ignites your passion so that you soak up that nectar of life. Okay, so now for our last reading, our final reading, the sage has now stopped burning. So interesting that it was really divinely timed. And I do want to show you one more time this beautiful bowl that my son made. Just so much love in it. And I lit the sage in the other bowl simply because that's where all the sage was. My husband had it stored there. So, card for you, message for those of you who chose the smudging bowl is, I'm hearing already, get on with life. Interesting. Let's see what card comes up with that. Stuckness. I'm hearing stuckness. So the message is already coming in. Speak your truth. And this card, I believe, has come up fairly recently in these readings. So speak your truth. Get on with life. Feeling stuck. Speak your truth. I'm getting an image of something deep inside. It's like there's a wall, and it's not really at the heart. It's really between the solar plexus, which is just above the belly button, and the heart. Solar plexus is all about personal power. The heart is all about love and opening to your heart-based guidance. And it feels as though there's a wall right there between your power center and your heart center. And of course, if there's a wall in any part of our chakras, we're not able to fully speak our truth because the energy is not able to flow up and out and be expressed. So this message for those of you who chose the smudging bowl is that you really need to focus on opening your energies and burning off, if you will, those feelings, those beliefs, those emotions that are holding you back. And I'm hearing that if you chose the smudging bowl, there's probably quite a bit locked up in terms of harnessing your personal power and allowing that to rise up into your heart center. In other words, to feel really good about who you are and love who you are. And yet again, the angels are screaming yes a lot in my head today. So yet again, I'm hearing a screaming yes, that you really are invited here to step into your power and to love that about yourself, to love your powerful self. So look in the mirror and say, you know what? I am powerful. And I love that about myself. And as you start to do that, you will find that you'll be able to express yourself in a more truthful and in a more loving way. Now, the one sort of postscript here is that sometimes when you ask your angels to help you release this kind of block, and they will help you release this kind of block, so just pray to them for that, is you also need to ask them to help you do this gracefully. And I say that because sometimes when we release that energy and suddenly we're feeling that freedom, that permission to express ourselves in that free and full way, what can happen is that we're, because it's been so long since we've been able to do that, is we can be a little bit clumsy with our communication. And we can, sort of lash out at people in ways that we really don't want to. So make sure that as you're praying for your angels to release this blockage, that you stay aligned with love, and that as you start to express yourself and speak your truth more freely, that you do so in a way that is always kind, always graceful, always compassionate for all those involved. So I'm just tuning in to see if there's any more nuggets of wisdom for those of you who chose the smudging bowl. And I'm hearing one little one. And that is it is little, although it's important. For those of you who chose this smudging bowl, is to make sure that you have some kind of a routine where you're praying to your angels. And I say that because prayer is so much more successful when it's a routine part of your life, and it's just, something that you do. I pray every morning before I get out of bed. I also pray every night before I go to sleep. And I most times will pray during the afternoon, and of course throughout the day as I need to. So point being is, get yourself a smudge bowl if you're drawn to that. If not, that's fine too. But set up some kind of a routine that helps you stay grounded and consistent and plugged into your practice of prayer. So that is our messages from the angels for the month of August. I'm wishing you all blessings of love, joy, and abundance. And please be sure to check us out online at AngelsTeach.com. Be well, everyone.